This episode of The Insurance Dream is brought to you by...
Howdy, partner. CEO Texas coming to you here to take care of all your business's promotional product needs. We have everything you could possibly want to put your business logo on, from hats to pins and cups to notepads. Heck, we even put your logo on face masks and hand sanitizers. Visit our website at ceotexas.com. Find the things that fit your fancy, add them to your cart, and send it over to us. And one of our friendly Texans will reach out to you to give you the current promotion on your selected items. That's ceotexas.com. Thank y'all.
We're going to be talking all about the power pipeline tonight, guys. So let me know in the comments, do you want a power pipeline for your insurance business? Do you want a constant flow of leads and prospects, quality leads and prospects, especially inbound leads and prospects, being able to get in contact with them and sell them, and getting additional referrals and clients coming from your existing clients, everything as well. We're going to talk all about what the perfect pipeline is, dive into all those aspects of it, and really what goes into that for your own business. We've got some special stuff we're going to be talking about with you later as well. Yes, you can do pet insurance and life at the same time. Whoever was asking that, that's a random question that popped up, but happy to answer that one. But yes, please keep comments and questions rolling. We are watching those. We are collecting those. We will answer those. Elle?
Yeah, welcome everybody. Super excited to be on with you this evening, afternoon, depending on where you're joining from, talking all about building the power pipeline. As David mentioned, be sure to interact with us in the comments. We love to answer questions. We love to see your comments and know that you're here with us. Make sure that you've got that pen and paper out. And with that, I think it's okay if we go ahead and get rolling, right? Let's go in the comments if you're ready to kick off this
training. Drop a let's go in the comments if you're ready for us to hop into everything. That you got your pen and paper, that you're ready to go. And we will get rolling. Okay. I'm already seeing a bunch of those roll in, so let's hop in.
Love it. Okay. David, can you see my screen?
I can see your screen. So let us know in the comments if you see the screen fine.
Awesome. All right. So as we mentioned, we are talking all about building a power pipeline, about that consistent flow of leads coming through. And we're going to be talking a lot about lead nurture as well as retention and cross-selling. So this is a comprehensive approach to building a pipeline. We're going to break it all down for you, and feel free to ask questions and put those comments in the chat. So first up, who are we? David and I, we are the founders of Jumpstart Go and the Marketing for Insurance Agents Facebook group. You probably came through the Facebook group and that's how you landed here. If not, that's totally okay too. If you're not sure what the Marketing for Insurance Agents Facebook group is, it is what it sounds like. It is a Facebook group for insurance agents, and we talk a lot about marketing strategies. We host a training like this every Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. So feel free to mark this on your calendar. We talk about what's working in marketing specifically for the insurance industry. That is really what our background is and where our skill set really lies, is in marketing and lead generation and helping agents fill their pipelines, not only with volume, but quality leads and referrals. And we teach a lot on how to do this using digital marketing techniques. So we do this inside of the Marketing for Insurance Agents Facebook group. And we also have an exclusive private community that we work with clients on helping them implement implement these strategies with a step-by-step framework. We are going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking about what it could look like to work with us, work with our team to help you implement a marketing strategy inside your business and to build this power pipeline. But really for the next 20 minutes here, we're going to focus on all value content. You'll be able to take the concepts that we're talking and start implementing these today in your business. So feel free to, like I said, ask those questions throughout. We'll have a time for Q&A. We'll tell you more about what it looks like to work with us. And with that, David, would you like to also share a little bit about yourself, your background, and your expertise?
Absolutely. And guys, if you're in the Marketing for Insurance Agents Facebook group, write MFIA in the comments and let us know that you're a part of that group. I know a lot of you guys came from there and love to see who all's from that group. And if you're not in the group, just write "What's MFIA" and we'll get you a link and come check out the free Facebook group of about 26,000 insurance. So a little on us. We've run the Market for Insurance Facebook group for years. We've helped thousands of insurance agents with growing their businesses, pipelines. We work with hundreds within our programs on helping them scale, double production, triple production, grow and scale those businesses, hire, build out their teams. Just a lot within there. One of our specialties as well is on the video side too, and Facebook Live strategies. We've generated over $1 million in just using social strategies and videos. We show our clients very much how to use even social for free to generate leads and referrals and grow their businesses. And so our real specialty is showing them on how to acquire leads, both from free methods as well as optimizing through paid, on using systems and tools to help them be more efficient, to close more, and as well as showing them how to be the most profitable in their business possible. And so that's our specialties. That's what we work on. That's what we love doing. We love seeing agents win and grow and be very successful in this industry. And that's what we have a track history of doing.
Love that. And so with that, we are going to go ahead and get started with the 3 keys to the power pipeline. And these 3 things are lead flow, so volume of leads. And second is lead nurture. So that's going to be more like lead quality. Could be another name or a different way to think about that. And then happy clients. So that's going to be your collection of reviews, testimonials, as well as retention and cross-selling. So when you break it down, every pipeline has these 3 components to it. And I'm curious for all of you on the line here, out of these 3 things, which one of these 3 do you think is the biggest bottleneck for you in your pipeline? Is it lead flow, so volume of leads? Is it lead nurture, so that would be lead quality? Or happy clients, that's retention, referrals, testimonial, and cross-selling opportunities? You can either write lead flow, lead nurture, or happy clients, or you can write number 1 for lead flow, number 2 for lead nurture, and number 3 for happy clients. Let me look at the chat here. Lead flow, lead quality.
It'll be interesting to see what you identify now versus after we go through everything, what you then identify, because it may be different than what you're saying right now as well. So
lots of lead flow and lots of lead quality. And lead nurture. Okay, awesome. So you guys are in exactly the right spot because this is what we're going to be focusing a lot on talking about. And this is not uncommon. This is what we typically hear of lead flow and lead nurture, or lead quality, being the 2 biggest issues for insurance agents on helping them build that pipeline. So with that, we're going to go ahead and start digging into these 3 keys a little bit more. And we have pulled 3 case studies of our clients here that have implemented these different areas of the perfect pipeline, that power pipeline, and how they've gone about doing it. So first up, we have Olivia. Olivia is a 19-year-old selling IULs on TikTok, and she is doing an amazing job basically generating all of these leads for free using organic. So organic means free, essentially. You don't have to pay for the advertising that you're doing, but she's doing social media marketing on generating life appointments. And she, at the time of this interview, she was doing about 20 life appointments per week, and that she was generating all off of social media. And so, David, do you want to talk a little bit about Olivia and her story and some of the main keys with lead flow with her on generating leads using social media?
Absolutely. When Olivia came to us, she was a pretty brand new licensed insurance agent, only 19 years old. She wasn't really doing any sales. She knows she loved the concept of IULs and really helping younger generations with them as well, like mid 20s to late 30s, early 40s. And with that, she really wanted to leverage social for doing so. She knew it was powerful, being a Gen Z millennial, we grew up with social, we know it's powerful, but how to really leverage it. And like so many agents, let me know in the comments if this has been you, how do I leverage social for lead flow and getting prospects coming in? And if that's been you in the past, I can't figure it out. I've tried it. I haven't got stuff in. Let me know in the comments if that's been you. But she knew that it was powerful and she wanted to grow her insurance business. And she didn't really have any sales coming in at that point in time. And so she hopped into everything, took the social strategies that we were showing her, started off on Facebook and then moved to TikTok, where a lot of her audience was, and implemented the same strategies and started having people flow in, ask her, can you do my policy? Can you do a quote from me? Can you help explain that to me? Can we have a call for you to do that, to go over that with me? And really just educating your audience and building up a massive following. And so she's done very, very well in that, but that's not unusual. We've had a lot of clients do the exact same on Facebook, others on TikTok as well. But how to use social media to generate organic or free leads and referrals for growing that pipeline in that business, especially when they come to you saying, hey, can you help me? I want to work with you. I want you to get me insurance that I know I need. How many people want more clients, more prospects like that? People coming to you saying, hey, I need help with my insurance and I want you to do it. And I already know I need it. Especially if you have the chance to build up the education with them too, of like, I even understand what I potentially need. And I know the cheapest isn't always the best. And I want you to help me. And I expect to pay what I need for getting what the proper coverage is. When you have a client come to you like that, I mean, that's the golden prospect, right? Like someone who comes to you, knows that they won't need it, knows that you can help, already trust you, and knows that the cheapest or lowest amount of coverage or something is not the best fit. That is the power of what you can do off social. And so coming back to lead flow, that's what she's done, and she's grown her business all organically through social strategies. She doesn't even need to work leads yet, although I think it could help turbocharge even more. But she's already so busy through organic, she's having to build out the team to even help handle the social flow from that. And so with lead flow, though, this is the lifeblood of everything, right? Like we nurture and happy client, and retention and stuff. Doesn't really matter if you don't have people to talk to in the very beginning to become clients. And so when we talk about lead flow, we talk about strategies for keeping stuff coming into that pipeline. And we'll talk a little bit later what all kind of goes into that with some images to kind of help solidify the concept. But the key being there, you want a diversified pipeline of different sources coming in, so you're not reliant just on one. And that there's so much power in the organic side that so many agents leave out and just focus on the paid side, which is excellent. And we're going to talk about that as well. But that's a huge area of opportunity. We see almost all agents and agencies leaving out that turbocharge, doubles businesses, is just off that organic side. And the quality is so good. And then also the advantage of the paid side of it as well, which we will talk about a little bit more, is that it's predictable, that you can know exact numbers and you can identify what areas need to be tweaked for optimization and scalability and all that. But at the very core of everything is you got to have lead flow, one way or the other, whether it's organic and free, whether it's coming in constantly from referrals, which at the beginning may not be the case as you're just starting off, but as you're going could definitely be the case, or it's got to be coming from paid sources as well. And so whether you're running them or you're working with a vendor, for example, but you got to have that lead flow, or else the rest doesn't matter.
Absolutely. Let us know if you've got questions on lead flow. All right. Number 2, lead nurture. So this was a very recent, actually the most recent client interview that David did 2-3 weeks ago with Becky Craycraft, and she is a PNC agency owner, so home and auto. Olivia, who David was just talking about, is on the life side, but Becky is PNC, and she just hit her first 100K month in new business, which for PNC, for people that don't know that are on the line, is a very big deal because renewals are such a key part for PNC agency owners. So 100,000 in new business. And I think that ended up being even closer to 120 after the month was all said and done for her. She also is, she's a farmers agency owner, so topped in the Toppers Club, which only 9% of farmers agency owners actually land in across the entire country. So Becky's just hit all kinds of records, and Becky definitely dialed in her lead flow more from paid sources than organic sources. But one of the things that I really wanted to highlight about her story is how she used automation in her business for lead nurture. So Becky really dialed in her paid lead sources, but she used automation to nurture those leads and connect with them at the right time, so they were more likely to buy from her at that time. David, do you want to talk a little bit about Becky and how she used lead nurture to help her hit this 100K month?
Yeah, absolutely. When Becky came to us, they were struggling to hit 20,000 premium months. And looking back at last year, she had a 250% increase in her business. She more than 2.5 times her business through implementing social and this lead nurture with using automation and systems to help close and contact and close more leads. And so diving into that, Becky has done so well with working leads in addition to the social, but with those leads, these are not real-time, high-cost leads that she's getting from vendors or live transfers. She's working age and X dates leads and just using the system or automation to get the best contact rate possible out of those without spending time sitting there dialing on the phones, and then closing those at a really awesome ROI because they're much cheaper leads. And so she'll get the ones that are ready right now and hop on calls and appointments and close them, as well as those will be working through the automation and nurturing to then close a week later, a month later, 3 months later, 6 months, or even longer. And that's the power of lead nurture. 10% of your market at any given time is ready to buy right then. And so many agents fight over that 10%, trying to find it, trying to get in front of the people that are ready to buy right now. Come get a free quote from me. Do you want a quote? Do you want a quote? Do you want a quote? I'm trying to find this 10% that are ready to buy right now. Get them on the phone. No, you don't want to buy something right now. Move on to the next one. Or I'm just trying to find who's in buying mode. And by doing that, you're leaving out 90% that could be ready to buy in a few days, a few weeks, in the following month. And for building your pipeline of people ready to close at any given time versus just focusing on the ones that are ready to close right now and even getting in touch with those. So that's a whole nother side, is getting in touch with them. And if you're just dialing and calling, then you're going to get the lowest contact rate possible. No one answers the phone anymore. It's very difficult just to get in contact just with phone. It's not the preferred contact method when you get down to millennials, who make up the majority of the market right now, and then Gen Z. Calling someone and picking up an unknown number and talking to them. Yes, it's a numbers game. You spend a lot of time in interview doing it, and yes, you can get some results from it. But is it the most efficient and effective and profitable way of doing it? No. And so that's where multiple forms of contact and really using systems to allow yourself to get the best contact rate possible, which we'll show some examples of in a little bit, so that you can get the best return possible and be the most profitable off your leads. And so coming back to that of not just focusing on the top 10% and leaving money on the table is using automation and tools in order to make sure that you are nurturing them. If they're not ready to buy right then, that you are still staying in contact with them so they are ready to buy. You're helping educate them. You're helping build up that trust that you need to then close them when they are ready, and that you're keeping your pipeline full of these people that are ready to close at any given date. You know, hey, it's nice to have people pop out of your pipeline that, hey, maybe this is a lead from 3 months ago. And they're like, hey, yeah, I've seen everything. I'm actually ready to move forward right now. Let's go ahead and do this. Versus, oh, they weren't ready to move ahead and they left. And whoever contacted them 3 months down the road was who sold them. You want your pipeline full of people that are all coming in ready to close all the time. And this helps you not only have those closes and sales coming in, but it ultimately helps you be more profitable off all your leads as well. The more you're closing out of all your leads, especially ones you've already paid for, the more profitable you are. And this is why burning and churning leads is just wasting money and giving yourself the lowest ROI. And that's where systems and lead nurture is so important and so critical. And I think it's one of the biggest areas that agents leave out within this process that ends up hurting them so much is if you're able to get twice as many sales out of the same amount of leads, then that's a huge impact on your business. I mean, who would like twice as many sales from your leads, right? Yes, in the comments if that's you. And so that's really the power of lead nurture. And so we focus really heavily on this because you've got to get the most out of the stuff you already have, or else you're just constantly going and looking and trying to bring stuff in, whether you're spending money or time doing so with getting minimal results. You want to leverage that so you get the maximum amount of results with the least amount of input.
Right. Yes. In the comments, if this is making sense, and if you also really understand the value, like David's saying, in lead nurture, and we actually have an illustration a little bit later on this specifically, just breaking down the math in how this works as far as, and the idea here is like spending less money on leads. Purchasing leads can be an awesome way to help diversify your pipeline. Just like Becky here, she uses social media. She generates leads and referrals using social media, but she also purchases leads. But she has the right systems in place to make sure that she's maximizing every single opportunity that comes into the pipeline, and that she's maximizing her investment in being as profitable as possible on those leads. Right. Yes, in the comments for us if this is making sense. And if it's not making sense, feel free to ask questions. Our team is collecting questions, and we will have a time of Q&A. So keep asking those questions in the chat for us.
And reminder, set it to everyone instead of host and panelists. Yes. I see a lot of comments coming through just to host and panelists, which means our team aren't going to see your questions so that we can answer them. So make sure to select everyone for your questions.
Awesome. All right. So the third key to having a power pipeline is happy clients. I think that this is the most underrated part of business in general across all industries, but especially in the insurance industry, we see this working with clients. And as David mentioned, the churn and burn mentality. So, purchasing all of these leads, dialing through, trying to make sales, but then after the sale is made, clients are kind of forgotten. And, this is especially important for PNC, but and Medicare that operate, so much on renewals, but also for our, the life side as well. It's super important to have that amazing client experience as people come in and start working with you, because that's how testimonials, reviews, and referrals are going to supercharge your business and really ignite that pipeline. And that's really the juice. And that's really the snowball effect. So the more happy clients that you can generate in your business, and that you can create a system and a process for capturing those testimonials, asking for referrals, you're going to then again supercharge all of your lead generation efforts that you're doing. So if you think about purchasing a lead, and then that lead becomes a client, and then they send a referral to you, 2 referrals to you, 3 referrals to you, well, then you've just you've doubled, tripled, quadrupled your investment on that lead. And so, purchasing 1 lead has now brought in 5 sales potentially into your business. So this aspect cannot be neglected when you're thinking about building a pipeline. So Bruce is the case study here that we're going to talk about, because Bruce is a master at really creating this type of ecosystem of happy clients, creating a great experience, not only for clients, but also for referral partners as well, which is a whole nother aspect of it. But David, I would love for you to break it down a little bit on some of the key highlights from Bruce's journey in this interview that you did with him.
Absolutely. So with Bruce, as usual, coming to us, he really wanted to grow his insurance business, and he was very much a relationship guy. So very much about relationships, his clients, he truly cared about them, as I'm sure all of you guys do. And, and that was really important. And so, whether that was, thanking his clients, thanking referrals, but that was really important. And so really with him implementing, he was able to do more with less, because his clients and referral partners were so happy in implementing strategies there that he constantly had a flow of referrals come through to him from his clients and referral partners that filled his pipeline. So that, yes, he did a little bit of organic, but he didn't need to work leads or really, do a crazy amount of organic, because he constantly had a stream coming from his clients, which only built and snowballed to more and more and more there. And now he regularly gets referrals all the time from his clients, from his referral partners, and that's what he's building his business entirely off of. And he's done very, very well with that on the life side, group health plans, life policies, annuities, all kinds of really awesome stuff for growing his business. Now, but with this, and talking about happy clients and this portion, I really want to highlight a key concept that underlies everything. And we'll talk about this a little bit, it'll make maybe a little bit more sense when we get to the graphics. But really, I want to challenge your whole mindset behind the whole marketing, sales, and the business side of the insurance industry. And so a lot of agents and agencies, it's, hey, I want to get some leads or some people, whether it's paid or however I get them, and I want to sell them. I want to collect my sale, my premium, and then I'm going to find some more people and sell them. I'm going to have these customers. Maybe I have some renewals or not, but that's what I'm doing. And in reality, really focusing on profitability, the actual money at the end of the day, and what's coming in, and how do I be the most profitable, right? Who wants to be the most profitable in their insurance business, right? Yes, if that's you. If not, then I don't know what you want to be if not profitable, but that's generally what people want, is to be profitable. And so thinking about that all the way through what we just covered, from lead flow to lead nurture to happy clients. So with lead flow, like leaving out the organic side, for example, organic side helps bring down your overall cost of leads and lead acquisition, because you're acquiring those for free. And so having that added in to a diversified pipeline of lead flow helps drop that cost down, getting the most out of those leads that you have, coming in, whether they're paid or organic, through the lead nurture side, and getting in contact with the most possible and closing the most possible out of that helps you be the most profitable out of your leads, because now you're making the most amount of sales and premium and commissions from the leads that you have coming into the happy clients. So that retention side and keeping clients, each renewal, each additional sale you're making with them, the cross sales, who's the most likely to buy from you? People that have already bought from you, that trust you, that know you, that like you. You sell them on final expense, and now you sell them on Medicare. And then you are maybe potentially able to help them with P&C if you can do that, or whatever that is. They're the most likely to get additional help from you. And so the cross sells and renewals, that's additional profit every single time. And that's why looking at your customer base is actually the most profitable source for you for additional sales and business, rather than I constantly got to go find people who've never heard of me, who don't know me at all, and maybe didn't even fill something out online and try to sell those people. That's why you've got to keep this in mind with your current clients, because this is probably one of the most profitable areas for you because you've already acquired them. And so that's where not only the retentions and the cross sells come in, but the referrals, like Elle mentioned. If you can turn one client, one sale into 5 additional referrals, then 5 additional sales over the next year, next couple of years, you've now earned 5 times as much off of that client. But it doesn't stop there, because now those people are referring additional people. Those people you're cross-selling. Those people you're getting renewals from as well. And this is how you build up a very large agency that feeds itself. And so you don't constantly have to be going out and searching and sourcing new leads coming in, because the agency is feeding itself. Of course, you can expand your team, and so now then you can do that as well. But at the end of the day, this is how you end up with large agencies that just they're self-sustaining. They could not go source any more leads and keep enough business to either sustain or even still grow. And that's what we're talking about here. That's why this concept is so key in these different areas, and why focusing on your current clients as well, and not just being the agent, which for personal experience of having a past P&C agent for years, didn't hear a word from them. You know how easy it is to switch to someone else or to move away, stop those renewals, stop those cross-sells, certainly not going to refer the person. You just killed future profitability off the lead that you paid and ultimately acquired with your time or money at one point. So that's the underlying thing I wanted to talk about here, is thinking about profitability in every area of your business and what you're doing, because that's what it comes down to. How do I make the business the most profitable possible? Why servicing and providing the best experience and service for my customers?
Love it. Right. Yes, in the comments, if this is making sense, if you're getting value. We haven't even really started digging into the meat and potatoes of it, but we're about to start breaking this all down. So write yes in the comments if you're getting value. And if you're excited to move on to some nice illustrations here. I'm a very visual
Let's do it.
So let's do it. I'm a very, very visual person. I have to have these types of visuals to break down concepts. If you can relate, let me know in the chat because I like visuals. So awesome. Lots of value, lots of yeses. All right. So this is the problematic pipeline. So this is the opposite of your power pipeline. And we're going to point out some deficiencies here. And this is part of, as you're getting going and running a business, I think we all feel like this, sometimes of like, especially if you're just getting started. First is that lead flow can feel very inconsistent, not scalable, unreliable, and maybe just like a little drip here and here. So when we think about a pipeline, you really, really can think about it like an actual pipe. And you can think about your leads as water that's going through the pipe, and that you have a spigot that is controlling the amount of water. Like a faucet on your sink controls how the water pressure, how much water is coming through. So you can think about that as your lead sources and your lead flow. And then your pipe is essentially your lead nurture. So that process that a lead goes through all the way from coming inside of your ecosystem through to a sale. So there's 2 main issues that typically show up in the problem pipeline. First is the lead flow, like we talked about. So inconsistent sources, unreliable, just not enough water pressure there, not enough water coming through the faucet. And then the other main problem that we see is a leaky pipe. So what's happening is you might be putting time and money into lead flow, but you're losing leads that you would otherwise capture as sales because the nurture process is broken. There is a disconnect from when the lead comes into your ecosystem, and that can mean as soon as you get the lead into your system, if you are using a system, or you receive your leads and you got, numbers to dial and you're not getting in touch with them and you have a very low contact rate, well, that is an indicator of an issue being with lead nurture. So a lot of times we have people that come to us and they say, oh, it's lead flow, it's the lead source, it's bad leads. Well, really, yes, there's going to be some leads are going to have better quality than others. That's true. But if you have leads of any kind, you have the ability to work those leads and to put a nurture process in place to work them to a sale. So David, I'm sure you've got a few thoughts on that, on the lead nurture process and the leaky pipeline.
No, I mean, I think you covered it really well. I mean, at the end of the day, having inconsistent or not enough lead flow coming in and from sources that from only one source, for example, that you're completely dependent on. If you're getting your leads from a single source and that like a vendor, for example, or your company, and they change pricing, the quality drops, they go out of business, anything, you change companies, or for example, then you're essentially killing lead flow, where your lead flow is severely lacking. So that's why you don't just want one source. You want multiple, maybe organic and a paid source, maybe multiple paid sources. You should always be testing and evaluating as well, because the results and efficiency can change over time as well. And so that's the major issue, like Elle mentioned, as well as the nurture. The nurture normally just consists of picking up a phone, calling some numbers, and hoping they answer. The smile and dial approach. Not saying, once again, that you can't get some sales out of it, but you're leaking. You're leaking so much out of that you're wasting money, you're wasting time. You want to solidify up that lead nurture area so you can close the most out of those leads that you are working to get the best return out of that possible. And so that's where we see a severe lack in lead nurture, because there almost isn't a lead nurture. It's a try a few times to get in contact and move on to the next. And that's the big problem. And I think everybody who's listening and watching this can understand that concept, can understand, okay, and, if I have 100 leads, how many am I closing out of that? And I'd love to close more out of every 100. And I realize that most of these I'm not even going to get in contact with, which means I can't move it beyond that at all. How are you going to sell someone that you can't even in contact with? You can't. Impossible. And so getting more in contact with more and getting more responses and more quotes and more sales, that's how you sell more. And so that's all due to this lead nurture area. So that's the areas of this problem, or the problem pipeline, and not even to mention a whole area that's lacking of this problem pipeline. That's not even on this graphic, because in the problem pipeline, it typically doesn't even exist. So we'll talk about that in probably the next example of the area that's completely missing even from this problem pipeline. If you want to take a guess what that is, go ahead and write it in the comments. And once again, feel free to drop questions all throughout this. We're going to be collecting and answering all those too. So make sure to drop some comments or some questions for us too.
And one of the key things before we move on that I think is so important, I really think if there's one thing to take away from this slide is that you really think about this. If you're cranking your faucet all the way up, just like pouring leads into this pipeline, which means typically you're pouring time and money. Like lead generation takes time and money, no matter what. Like it will always take time and money. So one of the best ways to get more sales coming out the other side is to patch up the pipeline. So you don't necessarily have to spend more time and money on lead flow if you've got a better process, so that you're not leaking. So just kind of think about that. Keep that in your mind's eye of that. You don't have to always just, as David said, churn and burn those leads if you've got a really great nurture sequence in place. All right. So in contrast, let's talk about the power pipeline. So what this actually looks like and in a very perfect, ideal scenario. So we've got lead flow with our spigots. We have lead sources that are consistent and we have more than one. So for example, if, organic and marketing is maybe a little bit down for, whatever reason, you can always turn up the spigot on a paid lead source so that you're able to keep your flow steady by balancing multiple lead sources. And no leaky pipeline. So all of the leaks are gone. We have a very clear process and a sequential process that is going to nurture that lead to a client into a sale. We're not unnecessarily losing leads through our leaky pipeline. And then as you make the sale and people become clients, there's also a process and a pipeline that creates that client experience for them so that you are guiding them through that experience and creating an amazing customer journey for them as they are working with you, which is still a nurture process. You don't stop selling people after you get their account information. There are still sales to be made of, what it's like working with you, winning their trust and winning over those referrals. So that in and of itself is also a nurture sequence. And as people become those happy clients, they become raving fans that recommend you. And what does that do? That's more leads. So happy clients turns into those leads and referrals that then go back into the pipeline, just like David was saying. And this becomes a cyclical and a self-feeding type of a pipeline here. And this is when you hear about big agencies that pretty much just operate on word of mouth and referrals. This is what they're talking about because they've got so many happy clients that they're producing that those happy clients will essentially also be their lead generation source for them. Write yes in the comments if this is making sense here. And David, what do you want to add here to the perfect pipeline?
I mean, I think you covered it. So, having the multiple lead sources that have a constant flow that you can turn up even if you need to, solidifying up the lead nurture, so don't have them flowing out and missing out on opportunities, meaning you're getting the best contact rate possible. You're nurturing the ones that aren't ready to buy right now so that you are capturing them when they are ready to buy. So you're getting the most closes out of your leads and prospects coming in, and then ultimately feeding back into the system through the happy client side on the profitability of renewals, retention, and additional referrals, of course. And that is the power pipeline overall, just that Elle covered. And that when you have this in place, this is how you just super scale. And this is how you double or triple your business within a year and then go from there and then expand your team with this as well. And so and really, if you're missing any aspect of this, the pipeline's broken. I mean, you could have happy clients, but you don't have lead nurture. And so you end up losing people because they're not getting in contact with. Then you do a poor job with referrals of not getting in touch with them and not nurturing them or anything. So really you need everything to have that pipeline, or else if you're missing any aspect, it breaks. So any questions on that? Let us know.
Love it. All right. So that was the graphic illustration of what we were talking about. Now let's actually look at some numbers here. And this is what David was talking about earlier. And I love this quote. Somebody smart said this at some point. I don't know who it was though, but small hinges swing big doors. So a lot of times it's small tweaks but it's also in solving problems in our business and I properly identifying bottlenecks and removing those bottlenecks that is going to make the biggest difference. So Sometimes it is, small things that make a huge difference in the business. So here's some math that just easy math. We kept it very easy to kind of break down that lead flow, essentially staying exactly the same, but that an increase in your contact rate. So moving contact rate, and on the left-hand side, there's example 1 there with 100 leads, a 5% contact rate. So you've got 5 leads that respond back. And then you close 50% of those. So 2.5 sales, 2.5 sales out of 100 leads. In the second example, on the right-hand side there, same amount of leads, but increasing that contact rate to closer to 20%. Got 20 leads that respond out of that, close 50% of those, 10 sales. So you've got 2.5 versus 10 with the same amount of money and time that's gone into the actual lead generation and lead flow. I put a little
maybe even less time into the 20% contact rate, because the 5% may just be calling through 100 and spending all this time to only get 5 people responding.
100% correct. I was focusing on that lead generation side as far as money and time, but you're absolutely right. Usually increasing contact rate is going to take actually less manual labor, because a lot of times what we see on that 5% contact rate, that's going to be people calling their leads manually, not using multiple forms of contact, and not having any automation or systems in place, where that 20% contact rate is going to be having systems and having automations that are working leads for you, which we're going to talk a little bit more about. And then also, so this was with close rate staying exactly the same at 50%. But typically what we see with the increased contact rate and having the right systems, automation, and lead nurture processes in place, there's also going to be an improvement on close rate as well, because the leads are warmer. And warmer leads are going to close at a higher rate, even if everything else stays the same. So with the focus on lead nurture being 100 leads, for our last example that we were looking at, 100 leads, 20% contact rate, 50% close rate, 10 sales. That was one that we just ran through. And then with the focus on lead nurture, when you're really nurturing those leads, warming them up, we typically see clients close in that 60 to 70% close rate range when they have the right nurture sequences in place. So we've just taken this same amount of leads, 100 leads, from 2.5 sales to 14 sales from the same leads. So in your mind, if you know generally on average how much you make per sale, multiply that by 2.5 versus 14. And that's going to be the difference of just focusing on one aspect of this, which is that lead nurture and increasing contact rate. David, you got anything to add?
I mean, the math speaks for itself. So, I mean, you're drastically increasing your profitability at the end of the day. And so that's what matters. Now, instead of struggling over 2.5 sales, you're now getting 14 or more, making more profit, potentially even spending less time. So making more by spending less time, I think that's everybody's goal, right? So
write me in the comments if you would like to spend less time, make more sales, and not spend more money or time on lead generation. All right, so the results, this is Tina Tran, a client of ours, and she not only put in systems, but also used social media to really build out the power pipeline and implement this in her business. And with their strategies, she saw her close rate go, she was closing, I think, around like 30-40%. She saw that go up to 70 to 80% of the leads that she was working, she was now closing. just by focusing on lead nurture specifically. And also she started working with referrals, happy clients, highlighting testimonials and client wins. So we're going to talk a little bit about this and some key takeaways that you can start implementing in your business to implement the Power Pipeline. Okay, so improving lead nurture. This is what we're really talking about here and drilling down into. So there's multiple ways to do this. The two ways that we find being the biggest leverage points is first through marketing and using social media to really create an ecosystem that you own, building a personal brand, establishing yourself as an authority, and creating a marketing system and plan that's really going to elevate you, position you as an authority, and help you attract those ideal prospects to begin with. With social media, it's important that you're connecting with the right people, as well as being consistent to stay top of mind. So consistency is your biggest friend on social media and in marketing, is showing up for your audience, staying in front of them, building that know, like, and trust, building the rapport with them. And then to also provide value and education is also a key part of this as well. We have so many of our clients, they do video on a daily basis on social media, or they're posting daily and they're sharing valuable information that they're and educating their audience, as well as their referral partners, and positioning themselves as an authority. David, what would you like to add here on this?
Well, just talking about how powerful that is that they have people coming to them that they've never talked to before, that haven't ever interacted on their posts or videos as far as commenting or anything, that are all of a sudden reaching out saying, hey, I've absolutely loved your videos. I love your content. I've been seeing it for a while and I'm ready for you to help me with my insurance. Or I have a friend or family member I'm referring to you right now that needs help. That could you help them? And this happens regularly with clients telling us like, oh, I went to an event in person, and people are like, oh, I've seen you online. You've come across my Facebook so many times. I feel like I already even know you. And I've never even met you. And we hear this over and over again. And that's the power of social and consistency and nurturing these people. And so that they end up coming through when you've never even had an interaction with them. Take that into, comparison to, an age lead or internet lead you're working that has no clue of who you are, have never spoken with you. And now you've got to convince them that you can be trusted, that they need what you're quoting them, and to actually end up purchasing, versus someone that you already have built up that know, like, trust with, that was reaching out to you. And so that's the power of nurture. Not only that, but like we talked about before, is if they're ready to buy now or not. Maybe they're purchasing a car in a month, but they've started seeing your content the month prior leading up to them being ready for the car purchase and coming to you for insurance for that new car or new home or wherever that is. Or maybe they just heard your first video about life insurance, never had someone approach them about that or talk to them about that, but like, that's complicated, or maybe I don't need it because I'm younger. And then they see your videos, you're educating them to the point where in 3 months, they're like, you know what? I absolutely do need this. I've seen enough. I know that this is important for me or my family. Yes, can you please quote me? And I'd love to buy from you. And so that's the power of this lead nurture area. It's huge.
And I can't stress the importance enough of consistency and setting a schedule for yourself. And anybody that's interested in some of our previous trainings that we've done, and we've done trainings specifically on social media strategy, if that's something that you would like, just write the word social in the chat, and and also put your name in the chat for us as well. If your name is not your Zoom name, like if you've got like a nickname on Zoom, put your name and social for us so that we can look you up and find you. That's something that we always struggle with in these Zoom rooms sometimes, is finding people afterwards. So just write social, and we'll be sure to connect you with some of those trainings that we've done where we really go in, take a deep dive into some of the social strategies that are working to build this authority, build that know, like, and trust.
And Mary, we'll answer your question a little bit, but I have a follow-up question before we answer it a little bit later. Is, you said, can you get someone else to do your TikToks? My first question is, why would you want someone else doing your TikToks where you're trying to build that like and trust with the audience and bring them to you to do business with you and them coming? So why do you want someone else doing it? And so if you can answer that, we'll answer your question in a little bit.
Love it. Keep those questions coming. All right, continuing on improving lead nurture. So creating an amazing client experience. So this is on that happy client generator portion. Be thoughtful about the experience that you're creating for your clients. There is an amazing book called Never Lose a Customer Again. Write it down, read it. It talks a lot about creating client experience and creating a journey for them. That client experience is not the same thing as customer service. And it's not just about reacting to problems, but it's about anticipating what your clients will need when they need certain things and being there for them. So really being thoughtful about the experience that you're creating for people as they're working with you. And then once you create that great experience, making sure you have a system in place for asking for testimonials, asking for referrals. Make it part of your process. Build it into the client journey and the client experience. And then make sure that you have a process for sharing your clients' positive reviews and their stories. That makes fantastic social media content. If you have happy clients and you're not sharing their reviews, their testimonials, their stories about how you're helping them with the world and on social media and as part of your marketing, start doing that today. Like as soon as you get off of this call, go share something that's a positive story, case study, or client success story. Because that is going to be huge in generating new business interest. It shows social proof. It validates you. It validates what you're saying as far as your authority. And it also makes your clients feel good when you want to highlight them and share their story. That also makes them feel good as well. So if you're not doing that, definitely make sure that's part of your marketing strategy. David, do you have anything else to add here?
No, you got it covered.
Awesome. Oh, I did. I skipped a slide. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay. So this slide was actually supposed to be before that one, but we're rolling with it. Okay. So also having systems and automations for improving your lead nurture. So this is what David was talking about before. And when he was highlighting Becky's story from earlier, Becky has systems and automations in place where she's able to use multiple forms of contact. So email, text message, ringless voicemail, and she's contacting them based off of a cadence, a sequence to essentially continue the conversation with them. So that's always really important whenever you're thinking about your lead generation of where did that lead come from, and that you are essentially just continuing the conversation. So if you're paying for leads, they likely filled out a form on a website somewhere. So you need to know what that form said so that you are able to send out the next correspondence through email and text message or phone call and say, hey, you filled out a form for X, Y, and Z. If somebody filled out a form and they wanted for a Walmart gift card, you need to know that too. because that's always no fun if you've paid for an incentivized lead and you weren't expecting that. So make sure that you've got systems, a lead management system, some sort of automation, even if it's basic automation that will send a text message and email and help you work your leads through a cadence and a pipeline, so that you're not just dialing them, but that you're also sending that text and email correspondence. David, I know you've got a few things to add on this.
Yeah, I mean, this is really where you maximize that contact rate, and that gives you the chance to have the conversations. We know conversations are the currency in insurance. The more quality conversations that you have, the more people that you're helping, that you're getting referrals from, and you're building your business. And so it's all about making sure you can establish that contact and then start the conversation and the relationship with that person, whether they're ready to buy right then or they're ready to buy in a week or down the road. You can't start anything unless you have that contact and that conversation. And so that's where using the systems and multiple forms of contact is what allows you to do that.
And you brought up a really great nugget there, David, on focusing on generating conversations. So really focusing on simply getting a reply back is usually a great way to go. So even if you're verifying a piece of information, do you still live at this address? Is this your birth date? And that you're asking a question that makes it easy for them to say yes or no. That's one of the best ways in those initial sequences when you're trying to get into contact, is to always ask a question. Keep your text messages, short and to the point, not super verbose and long, and even your emails as well. And one of the things that we teach and highly encourage, and we've seen this work well in our own marketing, is to not send people away to links on websites, landing pages, calendar bookings, but to just simply ask them to respond to the email or to the text message when you're utilizing those types of systems. All right, so continue asking questions. I'm seeing a lot of people ask for the social media trainings. Feel free to keep asking for those. You can write social. Just let us know what your name is, or if you want to give us an email address so that we can make sure we can reach out and get that over to you. All right. Okay, so we've talked a lot about things that you can do to implement the Power Pipeline. We've talked about the concepts of a Power Pipeline. Brooke talked about the math behind it all. But now we're really going to dive into what that looks like to work with us, and what we do to help support our clients implement this and build out their own power pipelines in their businesses, all the way from their lead flow, helping them with their marketing strategies, paid lead sources, as well as the systems, automations, and to put that happy client generator and processes in place so that you can make sure that you have that fantastic client experience, and essentially that pipeline to continue nurturing those happy clients, to make them, to help them through that process and to turn those happy clients into more leads. So at this point, if you want to jump off, feel free to do that, but we're going to go ahead and dive into what it looks like to work with us. All right. So first off, like I mentioned, is step-by-step marketing framework. When you work with us, we help you put a social media strategy in place. It is step-by-step. We help you identify who is your most ideal client and a dream prospect for you. We help you craft a marketing message that is going to attract those dream clients to you, and repel the time wasters. And we do this in such a way so that you are basically eliminating the competition, because the reality is that you will never compete on your products. You have to have strong marketing and positioning within all of the marketing that you're doing to really attract those clients to you, those prospects to you. And then our 15-minute a day social selling system. So our process, we have frameworks, we have planners, we have content outlines, we have everything broken down. Takes 15 minutes a day. It does take the commitment to implement, but as you've seen the results of our clients that we've highlighted here, that consistency, showing up 15 minutes a day for their audience, is paying off in huge, massive ways. Like Olivia generating 20, like, is that worth it? 15 minutes a day to generate 20 life appointments a week. So that is one of the biggest things that we focus on right out of the gate, is getting all of that set up, helping you put that marketing strategy in place. David, you want to talk a little bit about our Rainmakers paid lead system?
Yeah, quick cash injection. So with this, we focus on, as you're scaling up the organic side, generating free leads and referrals through that, on how to fill that pipeline fast in the meantime as well, and make sure that you can quickly get in leads and prospects for start having those flow through your pipeline and into sales as well. And so making sure you're never wasting money on bad leads again, how to make sure you're getting leads from good sources, how to vet vendors, how to get the best prices, how to make sure those leads are fits for what you're selling so that you can convert at the highest rates possible, how to really evaluate all of that for ROI, what's going to make the most sense for you and flowing through for ROI at the end of the day as well. How to use that to turbocharge your close rate. So being able to close at a higher rate so that you're making more off of the leads that you have as well. Not only that, but increasing the contact rate so you have more chances at the sales as well. And then focusing on the right fits that are looking for your products, like I mentioned, is making sure that the leads are fits for what you're selling, so that you can close those. If you can get better quality leads that are going to be a fit, then that helps not only you save time, but helps you be more profitable as well. And so really everything for a quick flow through to sales and cash as well, and focusing on that.
Love it. All right. And so this is what we talked a lot about today, specifically on the lead nurture aspect of this. So we help our clients with getting their automations in place. And we do a lot of training on how to select the right automation, these cadences, scripting. So how to reactivate cold dead leads. So sometimes, like a lot of times we have clients that come in and sometimes they have thousands of leads that they've worked a few times. But they have no automation in place to really work those leads. So we have clients come in and set up a very simple reactivation campaign, put those old leads, they could be years old. We've had clients that have done that and made 12 life sales in a week, from I think maybe like 1,000 leads or something like that he had that he put through the automation. We have, those types of reactivation sequences. And then of course, new leads as they're coming in, how to nurture those leads, make sure that you don't have that leaky pipeline, and that you're staying in contact with them and top of mind through automation. So that's going to be through your email and through SMS, as well as ringless voicemail. David, would you like to talk about the Happy Client Generator?
And Happy Client Generator. So turning happy clients into more sales, like we were talking about. So with this, that's where we talk about and diving into how to cross-sell with ease, how to get more cross-sells from your clients so that you're more profitable from them and they're already happy, and protect them in one area or aspect of their lives. Now you're helping protect them in other areas as well. on testimonials, reviews, on autopilot. How do I get those reviews flowing in and testimonials that I can use on my social, that I can use as social proof, that I can build up with reviews that help towards my SEO and my local rankings and map placement and all these things, as well as proof to others that I do what I say I'm going to do and I take care of my clients and they love me. And so that more people are coming in because now they can trust you a bit more based off your past experience with others. The easy ask referral system. How do I get more referrals from my clients easily? And how do I make sure that they're sending me those and repeatable and scalable versus just sitting back and hoping someday that the clients will send you referrals. Referrals are a lifeblood of feeding back in. And so we focus on that as well. And then set it and forget it retention campaign. How do I retain my clients? How do I keep that relationship going? How do I end up not being an agent they don't hear from for long periods of time? How do I make them feel special? How do I keep them, my clients, forever rather than, they'll disappear when they disappear. And so the retention campaign being key, as well as keeping those clients and those renewals and the profitability and referrals coming from that. So that's what we focus on for the happy client generator.
Love it. So those are the key aspects that we help our clients with. We do this. We have a resource library that is a whole curriculum, so that you have 24-hour access to this. You can go through trainings in the training library, so you have resources at your fingertips. And we have a very structured and systematic way that we help our clients implement things on a daily basis. So this is chunked down very step by step. And we even include a pacing guide that you can set up. We will help you set this up so that you can make sure that you're implementing everything along the way. With this, we also have 2 weekly support calls that are group calls. And this is where we're doing marketing reviews and support. We're looking at your conversations. We're helping with automation, CRM reviews, cross-selling campaigns, your testimonial and referral system support. So every single aspect of the program we support on, we have conversations on. So for example, today we did one all on video marketing and Facebook Reels. We, in 30 minutes, came up with, 60 different topics for video content, and even started posting Reels together on this group call. We also offer unlimited one-on-one coaching with our support team, with our coaches, accountability coaches. We have coaches that train on specific areas within the program. So this is available to you where you get access for us to help support you, answer questions. We do a lot of video responses as well as one-on-one type calls, just based off of where you're at, what you need, and what your questions are. So what's included when you work with us? You get the core curriculum. So that's the Power Pipeline system that we talked about, as well as the 2 weekly group support calls, unlimited one-on-one coaching support from our team. And then we are running some bonuses just through April 8th. These are going to be available because we are hosting an automation workshop on April 8th. It's going to be a half-day automation workshop, and you can come if you do not have anything set up as far as your automations. You can come to this workshop without anything other than the leads that you want to work through the automation. And at the end of the automation workshop, you will walk away with your automations and campaigns set up to start working your leads. So that workshop happens on a Friday. So basically, you're going to set up the automation to hit go on Monday to start working those leads. So especially if you've got old aged leads, like I mentioned, that client that dumped in a bunch of old leads and he was able to pull out 12 life sales in 1 week. That's what we're going to be working on and setting up with you in that automation workshop. Along with this, just for this 2 weeks only, we're doing 2 months of the free automation software. So it's typically $97 a month. But we're waiving the first 2 months of that. So you can go ahead, get started, and start implementing that right away and take advantage of the half-day automation workshop. And then for full pays, for people that pay in full, we're also doing a done for you landing page, which is also part of the curriculum, where you'll learn how to do. We're actually, for the first 3 people that are coming in, going to be doing that for them, as well as we have 3 spots available to do a quick start one-on-one game plan session. So right after you get enrolled into the program, you'll meet with your accountability coach, and she will be doing a one-on-one game plan session with you, making sure you've got quick start, ready to go, everything right at your fingertips, as well as done for you social media graphics. You save $1,000, and we're also doing a ticket to our 2022, one of our Closers Click events. So we've got 4 of those happening. The first one's going to be April, so it's just a few weeks away. But we also have them happening in July and October of this year. So if you want in on one of the in-person events, and to lock in your ticket, you'll get that with the full pay bonuses. We back all of this up by a guarantee. So our promise to you is what we call the toes in the sand, beer in your hand guarantee. This is make an extra $10,000 in commissions and treat yourself to the perfect carefree vacation without thinking twice about your bank balance, or we'll work with you until you do. So the guarantee here is that you will make $10,000 in commissions in working with us, or we will work with you until you do. Next steps is to book a call. So if you want to learn more about working with us, and have a one-on-one chat, we've got Michael from our team. He's actually been in the chat, I think even already answering some questions. But you'll go to this URL, which you're going to drop the URL to you. I'm going to stop sharing for a second so I can grab it. You'll go to that URL and you can book a call directly onto Michael's calendar, and he will answer all of your questions. And he will also actually work with you on doing a review of what you're currently doing in your marketing. He'll help you put together a game plan. Even if we are not the right fit, he will direct you to resources to help you get started, or to implement in your business. So I dropped the link to everyone. That's where you can book a call, and I will show you what this looks like when you do. When you click that link, you'll be directed to this page. Here's a photo of Michael. You may have seen him around the Facebook group. And what you can do is you'll book your game plan call, and you will select your time zone. We're in Eastern, so select your time zone. My computer works here. Okay, and then it'll load the calendar. You'll pick a time that works for you and enter in your information here. So once you put in your information, you'll receive a booking confirmation to your email. Please make sure that you provide the best email and the best phone number so that we can get in touch with you. The calls are over Zoom with Michael, and the link will automatically be sent. So again, you'll go to that link, which is that jumpstartgonow.com/book. You'll select your time zone and a time that works for you. So select your time zone, select a time that works for you, and enter in your information. Awesome.
Yeah, it looks like Avi and some others have already done it. So.
Love it. Seeing the confirmations come through. Yes, definitely go ahead and book your call now, because Mike's calendar is going to fill up fast. So just take the 30 seconds to go to that URL, go ahead, book your time. As I mentioned, you're going to get a full review of what you're currently doing. Michael, ask you questions, get an understanding of what you're currently doing in your marketing. He'll also give you clarity on what it looks like to work with us. And then he'll show you how implementing the Power Pipeline in your business could result into that 10,000 additional commissions in your business. So you'll get a lot of clarity on what it looks like to work with us, if this is a good fit for you, and get a full review and audit essentially of what you're currently doing in your marketing. Mike is a seasoned advisor on our team, and he speaks to agents every single day, helping them with their marketing, helping them put together those plans, and helping them see what it could look like for us to work together. So go ahead, book your call, save your spot on his calendar. And so you will get priority over that, especially if you're interested in any of those bonuses that I mentioned, which are the landing page, as well as that one-on-one kickstart call. If you want to lock those in, those are first come, first serve. So the earlier you get your call booked with Michael, you'll have a better chance of locking in those bonuses.
And I would say, if you're curious at all about if this may be a fit for you, but also just wanting to grow your insurance business, I would encourage you to grab a call. Mike, like Elle mentioned, crazy, super friendly, and talks to agents all day long on what they need, helps them spot what they're missing in their businesses, gives advice on where they can be looking to build additional sales in their business. And so if you're curious at all on what that looks like, you're ready to grow your business, you're like, I'm ready to skyrocket and take off, or I've been stuck for a while, I'm ready to unlock and grow, then go ahead and grab a call with him, and he'll be thrilled to talk to you and dive in and see how we can best help. And so that's what he does, and he's amazing. So, and we're about to answer questions in just a second. So last chance to drop your questions in before we answer the questions that you guys have dropped. But once again, go ahead and grab a call with Mike. He'll be ready to chat with you and see what we can do to help you grow and scale your sales in your insurance business.
Awesome. All right, everybody, while you're booking your calls, we'll go ahead and answer some questions here.
Cool. So let's see. Jim was asking what kind of automation, how do I subscribe? So we go through all that in the program, and there's not necessarily a one-size-fits-all automations out there. We have agents within the program that use all sorts of different automations. We have one that we specifically teach and train on, and one of our coaches actually has developed and built and continuously is adding to it based on what agents like to see added to it as well, and helping on that. But we also have agents that use other automations, or maybe already had some in place that they're working with. The most important thing is that you use multiple forms of contact, that you know how to use it, and that you're implementing it. And so there can be pros and cons to really everyone, but if you're not using one of them at all, then you're missing this huge opportunity for growing and scaling your business. So, and then Mark was asking, how many lead sources do you typically have? It can vary, but I'd recommend having at least 2 or 3, if not more. You definitely want organic, and we primarily will have people focus on one social channel and do it really well and bring in leads and referrals from there before we're ever considering moving on to another. If you do too many, you don't do any well, and then you end up not getting results from any versus focusing on one. And then you can always expand from there. And then recommend having a potentially from paid vendor sources as well, and either 1 or 2 from there testing what's getting the best ROI, what's getting me the most profit from those, and evaluating all of that. And you're constantly evaluating everything on where can I increase my sales and my profit as well. So usually at least 2 or 3 sources helps you keep it diverse and scalable with different lead sources. Let's see. Mary was asking, can you get someone else to do your TikToks? They don't like making videos. Mary, I'll tell you, we've had many people come in to the program that were afraid of doing video, didn't like doing video, didn't like seeing themselves in video, scared of it, had never done it. We have people come in that never even have Facebook accounts and created Facebook accounts once they came into the program. And I'll tell you, we help with that every single day within the program of people that doing their first videos. We had people do their first videos today, for example, and start implementing the social. And we help a lot with helping people work through some of that. But I will tell you, it is the most effective thing that you can do on the social side is implementing and using video as a part of the social strategies. It is so powerful. Literally, that alone has helped people double their businesses just by implementing the video. And you cannot have someone replace you. You got people help you with different things in your business and areas. But at the end of the day, you are the only you. And people work with people, not companies. And so you are who they're building, you're building the know, like, and trust with. And so that's you coming across the video. And I'll tell you, you say, you forget what you're saying, you're concerned how you look on video or how you sound. I promise, just by doing it, you will get people coming to you, talking to you, wanting to do business with you, referring business to you. And people are so surprised that we will sometimes stop them and challenge them to go do a video right now or do a live right now. And without letting anybody know, they'll go do it. And then we'll get responses just with even the next hour or that day. Hey, I had 3 leads come through that reached out to me, or I had these old contacts I knew and talked to in years that were like, hey, it's good to see you. Actually, I didn't know you were doing insurance now. I do need help with that. Can you help me? All of these things can just unlock due to video. And so I will tell you, it's not as scary as you think. We help walk people exactly through that. And it generates so many results that it's just not possible not to do if you're wanting to grow your business and get an insane amount of results. And then eventually having your team do that as well. So video is very powerful. And it is something that we walk you through exactly how to do. So even if you don't like doing videos, we'll show you how to make it really fun and how to get a lot of results from it. Let's see. Mary, so you help with us with getting set up? Absolutely, Mary. We help with everything that's correct. We help walk you through everything. We have unlimited one-on-one coaching. You know, anything you have questions on, stuck on, want feedback on, reviews on, we review, get feedback, help, support on all of that. We have 2 live coaching calls a week with the members where we dive in, giving them feedback, help support in all areas of the strategy and programs. You have a client success manager, Allie, who everybody loves, is absolutely amazing. And she personally works with all the members of the program to make sure they're getting everything implemented, that they have all their questions answered and the support they need, and cheering them on as they hit their goals within the program. Mary, can you use paper leads in your automation? Yes, you can, as long as you've got either an email or phone number so that you can contact them in some way, shape, or form. If you have an address, you can send mail to them. But I will tell you, we get into that as well. I'm not going to go off topic here, but even if you just have a name, an address, you can do what's called pending, and you can get phone numbers and emails so that you can work them within automations too for literally pennies. The pending is very cheap. So yes, you can work paper leads within automation. Just may have to get an email or phone number first, which is pretty easy nowadays. And then M. Holst was saying, what if you're super new and just starting out? This was for me. Absolutely. We've had literally agents within the first week or 2 come in. In fact, did a Facebook Live with one not too long ago. Christy Schultz, when she came in, she was a brand new licensed producer for an agency. She had just got her license. She was remote, so she was in a different state than where the office and the agency was mainly located. They wanted her to sell it. She was in Oklahoma, and they were in Texas. So she didn't know anybody in Texas, didn't even live in Texas, and they wanted her to sell personal lines, P&C, for example, and they primarily just did commercial. And so they didn't have lead flow or anything for personal lines. They said, go sell personal lines in a different state as a brand new agent, and we don't have a pipeline for you. And so she came in, she did like 17,000 in production her very first month. And then by her second, third month, she was doing 40,000 in production, had a baby, came back, and then did 40,000. And it's already past 50,000 in production this month as brand new producer, just using social strategies and video, not working leads, and had to create a Facebook account at the very beginning too. So yes, absolutely, it'll work if you're brand new. In fact, it'll save you a lot of time, frustration, tears, and going in circles and feeling alone. Because that's part of it as well, is the community of agents that are within this. You are having access and being a part of all these agents that are growing and scaling their businesses that can share with you exactly what they're doing and working on as well, even in addition to the program, that are sending referrals back and forth to each other and that are helping push each other forward into businesses rather than tear each other down, keeping secrets, you have to work with me, or any of that. This is a very supportive, open community that is constantly sharing and pushing people forward. So that's also, didn't even talk about that as part of the program, but that's a big part of the program too. So yeah, I'd say it's especially great for new agents, but we have a lot of established ones come in as well saying, hey, I'm ready to turbocharge this agency. I've been stuck. Like we had Kathy come in, and she had been at 25,000 or so in PNC production every month for like a year and a half, just been stuck there. And within 3 months or so within the program, she doubled it and was already doing over 50,000 in production. And she consistently did that month after month from there as well. And so that's what we can do, whether you're established or brand new. That's what we can focus on with you. So I think that's all the questions. If anybody has any more, feel free to drop them real quick. But I think we're getting ready to wrap up. Appreciate everybody who stayed on with us. And want to make sure we get everything answered if you do have some questions. But why you're dropping any final ones, if you do have any final, Elle, you want to just show them one more time. If anybody hasn't been able to book their call yet, there's the link Elle just dropped in the chat again. So just click on that and select a time with Michael, and he would love to talk with you, see how we can best help you, support you in the growth of your business, even if that is just some trainings that we've already done that he'd love to send you. But also talking about specifically, is this program a fit, and are you ready to grow and scale this business? That's exactly what we do. And we guarantee an ROI in the program. We guarantee that you're going to do at least 10,000 in this program. We'll work with you until you do. And 10,000 isn't really that much, guys. We really want everybody doing at least 10,000 commission a month, if not more. And we regularly have clients doing that and scaling up their teams as well. So, got any questions? Let us know. But right here's where it'll take you when you click that link. Just grab a time with Mike, and he's ready to chat with everybody. And he's absolutely amazing.
Awesome. All right, everybody. That link will take you here. Again, you just select your time zone and then select a time that will work for you. And then it'll take you to a page where you can enter in your information and your first name, phone number, email address, and a Zoom link will be sent to you. So go ahead, find your time. Like I said, those spots are already filling up really fast. So go ahead and fill that out, get your time booked, have your conversation with Mike. I know he's looking forward to connecting with you all. Thank you all so much for being on, hanging out with us. I hope that you got a lot of value out of the session. And don't be strangers. Say hi to us. Send us a friend request on Facebook. I'm Elle Denning, David Denning. I'm not sure which side.
Shoot me a Facebook message. We don't even have to be friends. Shoot me a message. I see all the messages, and I reply to messages too. So as crazy as that is. So yeah, you got a question, anything I can help with, looking for a connection, anything like that, I do that regularly, and I'm always happy to connect. So feel free to reach out. That's what we built Marketing for Insurance Agents for, is to help agents, watch them grow, watch them succeed, provide an atmosphere for them to come together on that as well. So we appreciate you guys all being here and being a part of that group. And we'll end the webinar for the evening, and we'll see you guys. Appreciate it.
Have a great one, everyone.